However, amidst the happiness, she couldn't shake the awareness of a subtle imbalance in their romantic interactions. Right from the beginning of their journey together, Chichi found herself often taking the lead with Caro. Whether it was a tender embrace, a lingering kiss, or a playful gesture, she was consistently the one to spark these intimate moments. Meanwhile, Chichi maintained a protective stance when it came to her friendships, particularly with her female friends. Little did Chichi realize that perhaps she should have extended the same courtesy to her male friends, to shield them from Caro as well. Chichi's concern deepened as she noticed another troubling pattern in her marriage with Caro. Every time they were intimate, he would discreetly take a specific type of medication beforehand. To her shock and sadness, Chichi discovered that the medicines Caro was taking were sexual stimulants commonly used to enhance performance and often taken by individuals experiencing difficulties in achieving or maintaining arousal. In the vigorous and welcoming urban landscape of Port Harcourt, there resided a formidable lady named Chioma, affectionately known among her friends as Chichi. Chichi was known for both her arresting beauty and tenacity. She owned a popular restaurant and bar in the vibrant heart of the city. Chichi had achieved success on her own terms through sheer grit and entrepreneurial savvy. Yet there was one thing missing from her life: a companion, a husband. Amidst her accomplishments and the busy rhythm of her business, there remained a prominent absence in Chichi's life, a longing for companionship, for a partner and husband who could share in her triumphs and challenges alike. Though she exuded confidence and independence in every aspect of her life, deep down, Chichi yearned for a connection. Despite her hectic schedule managing the restaurant and bar, Chichi actively maintained several dating profiles in hopes of finding a suitable and loving partner. She longed for someone who could complement her life, someone with whom she could share her joys and dreams. Each evening after closing her establishment, Chichi would sit in her cozy apartment overlooking the city lights, browsing through profiles, hoping to find that special connection. Chichi envisioned walks along the beach, laughter over candlelit dinners, and quiet moments intertwined with meaningful conversations with a special man. Her friends often teased her about being too picky, but Chichi knew what she wanted: a man who appreciated her independence yet understood her need for companionship. Someone who could match her passion for life and adventure. Someone who could see beyond her success and appreciate the person she truly was. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as Chichi continued her search, never losing hope that one day she would find her match, the man who would complete her story in the city of Port Harcourt. And as each day passed, she remained optimistic, knowing that love, like a well-prepared dish, required patience and the right ingredients to truly savor its flavor. One fateful day, as Chichi leisurely scrolled through her Facebook notifications, a new friend request popped up from a gentleman named Caro. Intrigued by his name and curious about his profile, she accepted the request without hesitation. Generally reserved about engaging romantically with individuals she encountered on social media, Chichi's usual caution momentarily faltered as she found herself captivated by the uniqueness of his name and piqued curiosity about his profile. Despite her typical reluctance, a surge of intrigue propelled her to accept the request promptly, her mind buzzing with a mix of curiosity and a faint flutter of anticipation about what this newfound virtual connection might unfold. Caro's profile revealed a man of undeniable charm and success. He was a charismatic entrepreneur, renowned for his successful business spread across the city. Chichi couldn't help but be captivated by his confident smile in his profile pictures, his eyes reflecting ambition and warmth. As they started chatting, Caro's charisma shone through their messages. He was witty, engaging, and shared a similar passion for business and success. They exchanged stories of their ventures, dreams, and even their favorite spots in the city. Chichi found herself looking forward to each notification, enjoying their conversations that seamlessly blended laughter and thoughtful discussions. With each passing day, Chichi discovered more reasons to admire Caro. Their friendship blossomed into something deeper, sparking hope in Chichi's heart that perhaps she had found the companion she had been searching for, a man who not only complemented her success, but also understood her desire for a meaningful connection and grew closer as friends. One evening, they finally decided to take their connection beyond the screen and physically meet for a date. Despite their busy schedules managing their respective businesses, they made time to meet in person. Chichi felt a flutter of excitement mixed with nerves as she prepared to see Caro in person. When they met, Chichi found herself immediately struck by Caro's presence. It wasn't just his intelligence and charm that stood out, but also the quiet confidence that seemed to envelop him. In person, Caro effortlessly embodied the same charisma and allure that had initially intrigued Chichi through their online interactions. As they conversed, Chichi sensed a deeper connection forming, one that transcended mere physical attraction. Their rapport seemed to unfold naturally, each moment deepening Chichi's fascination with Caro's personality and their shared interests, hinting at the possibility of something more meaningful blossoming between them. Caro proved to be a fascinating companion to Chichi. His passion for business and life matched hers, and they found themselves immersed in discussions. They laughed easily, their connection deepening with each shared moment. Throughout the night, Chichi couldn't help but admire Caro's ability to listen attentively and his genuine interest in her world. She felt understood and valued in his company, a feeling she hadn't experienced in a long time. By the end of the evening, Chichi knew that this was more than just a date. It was the beginning of something special. At least, so she thought. As they said their goodbyes that night, Chichi felt a sense of anticipation and hope. She couldn't wait to see where this newfound connection with Caro would lead, a journey filled with countless possibilities waiting to unfold. After a few weeks of spending more time together, Chichi and Caro's relationship blossomed from friendship into something deeper. Chichi found herself increasingly grateful for meeting a man like Caro. However, as they grew closer, Chichi noticed that Caro was more of an introverted person. Despite managing multiple successful shops selling iPhones and laptops across the city, he preferred solitude and didn't often engage in social functions. He had a team of boys who worked diligently under his guidance, allowing him to maintain a quiet presence behind the scenes. While Chichi enjoyed socializing and being out in the bustling city, she respected Caro's preference for privacy. She admired his ability to focus on his business ventures with such dedication and appreciated the moments they shared together, whether it was a quiet dinner at her restaurant or a cozy evening in his apartment. Their relationship flourished as they learned more about their differences. Caro's reserved nature complemented Chichi's outgoing personality, creating a balance that enriched their bond. Chichi found herself falling for Caro. Caro often invited Chichi to his home, where he would showcase his culinary skills by cooking delicious meals for her. Each time Chichi sat at his table, she felt like royalty as Caro served her with a tenderness that warmed her heart. She admired his thoughtfulness and the effort he put into every dish, making her feel cherished and special. Despite these intimate moments they shared, there was a lingering question in Chichi's mind. Whenever their interactions started to lean towards more physical intimacy, Caro would pull back. This happened repeatedly, leaving Chichi confused and wondering if Caro's feelings for her weren't as strong as she hoped. Eventually, Chichi gathered the courage to address her concerns with Caro. She approached the topic delicately, expressing her feelings and seeking clarity about where they stood. Caro listened attentively and apologized sincerely to Chichi, explaining that his actions weren't a reflection of his feelings for her. In fact, Caro assured Chichi that he deeply cared for her and valued their relationship immensely, and he wanted to wait until marriage before taking their physical relationship to the next level. Chichi respected his decision, realizing that it stemmed from a place of respect and reverence for their relationship. After months of dating, Caro proposed to Chichi one beautiful evening. Chichi's heart swelled with joy. She had eagerly waited for this moment. When Caro popped the question, she didn't hesitate to say yes, imagining a future abundant with love and companionship. Their wedding day was a celebration of their love, surrounded by their closest friends and family. Chichi glowed in her bridal gown. Caro's parents, in particular, radiated happiness, their smiles wide and their eyes shining with pride. They embraced Chichi warmly, expressing their joy that their son had found such a wonderful partner in life, if only she understood the cause of their exuberant demonstration. Amidst the excitement and festivities, Chichi couldn't shake a nagging curiosity about her in-laws' overwhelming happiness. She sensed there was more to their joy than simply seeing their son married. It wasn't until 1 year after their wedding that she learned the truth. Chichi basked in the splendor of her marriage to Caro, a relationship she had envisioned with hope and excitement. However, amidst the happiness, she couldn't shake the awareness of a subtle imbalance in their romantic interactions. Right from the beginning of their journey together, Chichi found herself often taking the lead in initiating romance with Caro. Whether it was a tender embrace, a lingering kiss, or a playful gesture, she was consistently the one to spark these intimate moments. Initially, Chichi dismissed it as a preference on Caro's part, perhaps believing he enjoyed her assertiveness or appreciated her taking charge in their romantic moments. This interpretation gave her a sense of assurance, believing that their dynamic was simply a reflection of their unique compatibility. As weeks turned into months, Chichi couldn't shake the persistent feeling that she was the primary initiator of their romantic moments, longing at times for Caro to take the lead and express his desire for her in ways that mirrored hers. As time passed, Chichi's concern grew. She began to wonder if there was a deeper reason behind Caro's reserved approach to romance. Despite these thoughts, Chichi pushed them aside, focusing instead on nurturing their marriage and savoring the connection they shared in other aspects of their life together. Meanwhile, Chichi maintained a protective stance when it came to her friendships, particularly with her female friends. Chichi had learned from past experiences to shield her female friends from her husband, fearing that their charm or closeness might inadvertently draw him away from her. Little did Chichi realize that perhaps she should have extended the same courtesy to her male friends, to shield them from Caro as well. It was a lesson born from insecurity and a desire to protect what she cherished most, her marriage to Caro. Also, Chichi's concern deepened as she noticed another troubling pattern in her marriage with Caro. Every time they were intimate, he would discreetly take a specific type of medication beforehand. Intrigued and increasingly concerned, she confronted him about it, but he avoided the discussion. Determined to gain a deeper understanding of these medications and their implications for their relationship, Chichi decided to do some research. To her shock and sadness, Chichi discovered that the medicines Caro was taking were sexual stimulants commonly used to enhance performance and often taken by individuals experiencing difficulties in achieving or maintaining arousal. Chichi's heart sank as she struggled with this revelation. She couldn't help but wonder if Caro had been struggling with some form of manhood issue that he hadn't shared with her. It became a routine for Caro to quietly consume herbal and medicinal supplements. He found it simpler to consume the medications rather than confront the truth and have an open discussion with Chichi. The situation weighed heavily on Chichi. She felt a sense of isolation in their marriage, unsure of how to bridge the gap between them. But Caro seemed reluctant to engage in honest dialogue about their intimate life. She wondered if there were deeper reasons or insecurities holding him back from fully embracing their marriage. Despite her initial shock, Chichi was determined to confront the situation with compassion and understanding. One day, Chichi approached Caro gently, expressing her concern and curiosity about the medications he had been using. Caro hesitated at first, clearly uncomfortable discussing the topic. Eventually, he opened up to Chichi, explaining that he had been taking the stimulants to ensure their intimate moments were satisfying for both of them. Caro assured Chichi that his use of these medications wasn't due to any physical problem, but rather a desire to enhance their sexual experiences together. Chichi, being a supportive wife, felt a mixture of relief and empathy for Caro. She expressed her willingness to support him and explore other ways. Several months after their wedding, Chichi's desire to start a family grew stronger. She had envisioned their future together, children included. When Chichi finally broached the topic with Caro, she was taken aback when Caro suggested they opt for artificial insemination as a solution. Chichi couldn't fathom why they would consider artificial insemination when both were healthy and capable of conceiving naturally. When she expressed her bewilderment to Caro, questioning the need for such a method over the traditional route, he chose to evade the truth about his feelings and concerns. Despite Chichi's efforts, Caro avoided addressing the issue directly. This left Chichi feeling a wave of emotions, confusion, disappointment, and a sense of betrayal. Chichi had assumed they were on the same page about starting a family, only to discover that Caro had reservations he hadn't shared with her before. As if their intimacy and childbearing issues weren't enough, Chichi began to feel concerned when Caro often expressed a preference for a particular type of intimacy that left Chichi feeling perplexed and anxious. Chichi's mind wandered into worrying thoughts. She briefly entertained the idea that maybe Caro was more interested in men, but she quickly dismissed it. After all, Caro openly expressed his disapproval, often making derogatory remarks whenever the topic came up on TV or social media. Caro's mannerisms and behavior didn't fit her understanding of what she knew about gay men either. Caro carried himself with an alpha male aura. He dressed conventionally, spoke with confidence and assertion, and lacked the stereotypical mannerisms she associated with them. Yet, despite rationalizing these thoughts, Chichi couldn't shake off the unease that clouded her mind. She struggled with trying to understand Caro's preferences and reconciling them with her expectations of a conventional marital relationship. She felt torn between her desire to support Caro and her need for clarity about their intimacy. One fateful morning, Chichi's world unravels as she stumbled upon a text message on Caro's phone from his friend Ben, whom she knew as well, addressing Caro with an affectionate babe. Unknowingly to Caro, who was in the bathroom, his wife was scrolling around his phone, Shock washed over her as she processed the implications of what she had just discovered. To compound the situation, further investigation of Cairo's phone unveiled explicit photos of Ben, confirming her worst fears. That Ben was not merely a friend but Cairo's former love. Her heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. The signs she had noticed before, the unconventional preferences in intimacy, Cairo's dismissive attitude towards gay individuals, and now this revelation, began to align in a way that pointed towards Cairo possibly being gay. Chichi wrestled with a mix of emotions, confusion, betrayal, and a profound sense of hurt. Fear gripped her as she contemplated confronting Cairo directly. Instead, she sought solace and guidance from Cairo's parents. She hoped they could provide insights or explanations that would help her make sense of the situation. Chichi's visit to Cairo's parents was filled with both hope and apprehension. She desperately sought answers to the questions that had been eating her up since the discovery of Ben's messages and photos on Cairo's phone. When she finally gathered the courage to ask if Cairo had previous girlfriends, she noticed a subtle exchange of glances between Cairo's parents. Their hesitation spoke volumes. Despite their attempt to reassure her, Chichi sensed an underlying discomfort in their response. They claimed Cairo had many girlfriends in the past, but their evasive manner and the unease in their voices hinted at a different truth. It became clear to her that Cairo's parents were hiding something, perhaps out of a desire to protect their son. The atmosphere in the room grew tense as Chichi processed this realization. She had hoped that by confiding in Cairo's parents, she would find clarity and support in navigating the complexities of their marriage. Instead, she found herself grappling with even more uncertainty. The gap between her understanding of Cairo and the version of him presented by his parents widened, leaving Chichi with unanswered questions and a profound sense of isolation. Chichi's heart raced as she mustered the courage to confront her husband Cairo about her suspicions. As Chichi confronted her husband, he denied immediately. His immediate anger and vehement denial only added to her confusion and worry. In the heat of their argument, a notification on Cairo's phone interrupted their tense exchange. Chichi's curiosity was piqued, prompting her to quickly glance at the phone resting on the table. What Chichi saw there shocked her to her core. Messages from Ben, containing intimate photos of both Ben and Cairo along with the photos, were a plea to rekindle their past relationship. The truth she had feared and suspected suddenly stared back at her, stark and undeniable. In that moment, the air grew heavy with unspoken truths. Cairo, seeing the devastation in Chichi's eyes, realized he could no longer hide behind his facade. In that moment, a weighty silence enveloped them as unspoken truths hung in the air. Chichi's eyes reflected her devastation, and Cairo, seeing the pain he had caused, understood he could no longer conceal the reality behind his facade. A blend of guilt and resignation washed over him, compelling him to reveal the truth he had suppressed for years. He was gay, and his marriage to Chichi had been a charade. Chichi felt as if the ground had crumbled beneath her feet. She grappled with a whirlwind of emotions, betrayal, heartbreak, and a profound sense of loss for the future she had imagined with Cairo. Memories and moments suddenly took on new meanings as she pieced together the clues and signs that she had previously brushed aside or failed to fully understand. As the truth sank in, Chichi struggled to reconcile the love she felt for Cairo with the lies and deception that had overshadowed their relationship. She questioned the authenticity of their connection and wondered if their marriage had ever been based on love, mutual understanding, and trust. With tears streaming down her face, Chichi packed her belongings swiftly. each item a painful reminder of the shattered dreams and the deception she had endured. As she hurriedly sorted through her things, memories flooded her mind. The happiness of their wedding day, Cairo's parents' unusual beaming smiles that now seemed tinged with a hidden truth, and the countless moments she had overlooked or misunderstood. Cairo begged his wife to reconsider her actions to leave. Cairo's desperate pleas fell on deaf ears as Chichi remained steadfast in her decision to leave. Cairo pleaded with Chichi to forgive and act as if nothing had happened. Cairo went as far as attempting to persuade her by offering a bribe, money in exchange for her agreement to stay and continue as his wife. His appeals rang hollowly in the room. Chichi found herself unable to accept the reality that she had married such a man. Chichi couldn't bear the thought of continuing a life built on lies and denial, no matter how much Cairo begged and pleaded. In the midst of her anguish, Chichi blamed herself for disregarding the signs. As she left their home, Chichi carried with her a heavy heart and a betrayal that cut deep. In the days and weeks that followed, Chichi leaned on the unwavering support of her friends and family. They offered solace and strength as she navigated the tumultuous emotions of grief and healing. Through it all, Chichi found herself on a journey of self-discovery and renewal, rebuilding her life piece by piece with the unwavering support of her loved ones. Together, they reminded her of her worth and resilience. She cherishes the lessons learned from her marriage and embraces her own courage.